Western North Carolina's news leader. This is News 13 at 5:30.
From flooding to water rescues, emergency crews are dealing with multiple impacts as remnants of Tropical Storm Fred move through the mountains.
Heavy rain has been coming down all day long, sparking flash flood concerns in local areas. This is a look at the rising waters in the French Broad River.
And we're also hearing numerous reports of downed trees. The severe weather caused a tree to fall down on power lines along North Rugby Road in Henderson County. Our News 13 crews are standing by. They're prepared for live team coverage on the latest conditions.
But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jason Boyer. Jason, you've been very busy today. Are we out of the woods yet?
No, we are not. New tornado warnings just issued for portions of the mountains and foothills. This includes Mitchell. It includes Yancey. It includes Mcdowell. It also includes Rutherford County till 6:15. Heads up, these storms are racing their way in from the south and southeast. So if we put a cone here, you'll see that these storms will continue to march on in that direction. So heads up in West Marion, also into Marion, Hankins, North Cove, Grassy Creek, Spruce Pine, Ingalls, Altamont, and those respective times. You need to get inside a safe place now. It's not time to maybe go run a quick errand, try to get some groceries for dinner, or maybe grab some gas for the car. But the idea is that you definitely need to get inside a safe place in these areas. These are tornado warnings that extend into Avery County and now new ones into Burke County as well through 6 o'clock if beyond that. And we'll continue to watch that situation unfold. These are strong thunderstorms now pounding you on the western side of Mcdowell County, eastern side of Buncombe, and back into Yancey. So tremendous rainfall. All of this is going to lead to more flash flooding as well. And there are those other warnings we have, tornado warnings for Avery, Mcdowell, Mitchell, Yancey till 5:45, and also new ones that are overlapping. So this is the problem. It gets confusing, but you just need to know if you see these red boxes, you need to be in a safe place. That includes you in Mcdowell, Rutherford County, Yancey, Avery County as well. We go south. We've already had a confirmed tornado earlier today near Malden. We might get more damage reports, I'm sure, from the storms that are coming through the mountains now. That confirmed tornado around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We were tracking that for you live here on WLOS. And of course, you were staying with us and staying safe. There you go. Strongest storms will be pushing out this evening. Everything rotating north and east away from us, and much improved conditions overnight into tomorrow. So we'll give it the caution overnight tonight and the evening for scattered downpours, more flooding, and then overnight the same thing. Even though we dry out, the runoff will continue, and that's going to keep those rivers high, and more flooding along the main rivers will continue tomorrow. The green light, mostly dry, only a few showers, much warmer too. I'll show you the changes beyond that.
And Jason, we have a breaking situation right now in Candler. Water is across the roadway on Smoky Park Highway.
Rescue crews are looking for someone who got out of their car. News 13's Hannah McKenzie is there. You see those live pictures coming in right now with the latest. Hannah, what can you tell us?
As you can see, those crews packing that boat up right now. We have some amazing news to tell you guys. The man who they were looking for just walked up behind us right here. His name is Jose. He actually said he didn't realize how deep this water was when he drove into it. And before he could know what was happening, he threw it in reverse. It was too late. Take a look out there behind us. You can see one car there, the tail end of one car. That is not the car that Jose drove in. I'm told there are 5 vehicles behind me here on Smoky Park Highway, which is very hard to believe. When we first arrived here, we could at least see 4 of them. So this water is rising very, very rapidly. Now, we have a lot to tell you about in this area right now with the remnants of Tropical Storm Fred really taking a toll here. Haywood County being hit especially hard. We tried to head close to Haywood County, and this is as far as we could get. Smoky Park Highway clearly closed. Also, another area of Smoky Park Highway closed following the collapse of a retaining wall near Church Street in Canton. And 2 lanes of I-40 westbound are closed as crews work to clean up a debris flow. Right now, Haywood County is declared as a state of emergency. The Haywood County Commission Chairman Kevin Ensley making that declaration just about an hour ago. He activated temporary shelters in that declaration and also gave emergency management staff the authority to shut down roads and areas that are deemed dangerous. And speaking of those road closures, obviously there are many right now. Downed trees and power lines posing a real threat across much of our viewing area right now. So much so that David Uchiyama with the North Carolina Department of Transportation warning folks, if you do not have to be out on the roadways right now, don't tempt fate. Stay at home. He tells me this is a warning they usually keep back for ice and snowstorms, but if you take a look behind me, you can tell today clearly an exception. And fortunately, as I explained, the rescue that was happening when we first arrived here ended on a very happy note. Jose was okay. He said he had to swim out of his car, kind of got swept up in some currents, but he is safe. So I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, now we want to go straight to Chief Meteorologist Jason Boyer with some more tornado warnings.
That's right. We have new tornado warnings coming in for the upstate. This one out for northwest Greenville County, also eastern Pickens County till 6 o'clock. That includes Anderson County. Off to the east of there, we have a tornado warning, I should say, till 6:15 for Anderson, Greenville, Spartanburg County. That includes Greenville. That includes areas just west of Spartanburg. That includes areas along I-85. Then you go south of there. These are also tornado warned storms down over the upstate, and it's mostly involving Lawrence County, Greenwood, and also Abbeville County. Those are out until 6:15 and even beyond that in some cases. So continuing to watch the situation unfold there. We have plenty of action on the radar. This is just going to be one of those evenings where we have quick spin-ups of possibly tornadoes. You can see some of these circles here where the green and the reds come together. That's where we're seeing rotation. We're seeing more rotation here on the west and south side of Greenville, and more rotation, kind of discrete ones. They're not very pronounced, but they're there, and that gives us the idea that we're going to be dealing with more potential wind damage and or tornadoes. So let's go back to the radar, and there's that latest one: Abbeville, Greenville, Greenwood, Lawrence County. That's flashing for you. If you're down here due west off to the northeast into Lawrence, Joanna, heads up in those locations. This involves I-26 and I-385 as well, so those places need to take action and move to a safe place right now if you're in those locations. Farther to the north, same thing goes for you up into Greenville County. We'll zoom up there a little farther, and you'll get into Greenville itself. You'll get into Travelers Rest and Highland, areas like Malden. Malden's already been hit today with some damage from a tornado confirmed on the ground around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We were tracking that for you, and we'll continue to track these. Let's kind of go back in here and to see where all of this is going to go. This entire line of thunderstorms is just racing off to the north and east, so heads up here. Respective times for Conisty 5:38, Malden now until 5:50, Taylor 6:09, Greer 6:33, Valhalla around 6:40 in the evening. That's just an idea. You definitely want to be inside your safe place. Lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, get inside an interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and just hunker down. Grab a helmet, a bike helmet, a baseball helmet, a football helmet, something to protect your kids' heads, your head as well. You need to do that because flying debris can be something that is a serious situation. So life-threatening situation with the possibility of damaging wind and or a tornado in the upstate for several counties here. Tornado warnings will continue. We're watching flash flooding unfold here, obviously, in the mountains, and that will be the theme through the evening as well. We'll keep you updated. If any new warnings come out, of course, you can go online to get them as well at WLOS.com.
Let's now go live to News 13's Kimberly King, who is in the Asheville's River Arts District.
And Kim, you've seen a lot of weather impacts today.
I missed that toss there, but basically we are seeing this rain increase. It's starting to go sideways, and the winds have picked up. You can see the boat dock ramp here basically underwater, submerged for the most part. About half of it's still up, but then if we look across the French Broad River, you can see some of the leaves blowing in the wind. I'd say the winds out here right now are around 15 to 25 miles per hour. They have picked up, I'd say, in the last 10 minutes. So this is yet another strong band of heavy rain. You can see the current on the French Broad with a lot of debris coming down the river. And this is, of course, a major headache for anyone who is out on the roads tonight. Drivers had to go cautiously through water ponding all over Buncombe County. Emergency crews got numerous calls to respond across the region. Traffic was backed up on Sweeten Creek Road this morning as a tree came down across both sides of the highway. Power went out along Smoky Park Highway, where a station attendant said the pumps stopped working.
Actually, pretty much sit and wait. You know, we're losing business. Nobody can get gas.
drivers had to go cautiously through water ponding all over the county. Emergency crews received numerous calls to respond to outages and weather emergencies as rains kept coming down in waves. And this is just another example of the latest wave that's coming down. I'll just flip around real quickly to show you. This is Riverside Drive, and we still have drivers out here tonight. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we will show you some video from Candler that a viewer shot of cars literally in the middle of a flooded out highway. Reporting from the River Arts District, Kimberly King, News 13.
All right, Kim, thank you for that report. And obviously an unfolding situation evolving here this evening for the potential of life-threatening conditions. More flash flooding is likely in the mountains. We have tremendous rain that's already fallen, more falling through the evening. We've seen over a foot of rain in some places over Transylvania County since yesterday. Just more coming will exacerbate the situation. None of this is soaking in the ground. It's all runoff at this point. So it's all going into the local creeks, streams, and rivers, and we'll continue to see those flood as well. Tornado warning, Avery, McDowell, Mitchell, Yancey County. This is out until 6:15. These are overlapping warnings, a very cluttered map. This is difficult to get the information, but you need to know that if you see any of these flashing boxes, those are tornado warnings. And if you're in Marion, McDowell, you're in Eastern Yancey, you're in Mitchell County or Avery County, you need to be in a safe place now, not a few minutes from now, but get there as soon as you can if you haven't gotten there already. Lowest level of your home, somewhere safe, maybe a helmet on top of your head to protect your head from any flying debris. These storms are moving so quickly, they'll move in very quickly. You have little time to react. The good news is once we get past about 8 or 9 o'clock, things should start to quiet down. We'll still have some heavy rain and very, very heavy rain coming down now. The southern end of Buncombe County. We'll zoom in that direction and show you some of the action down there. And it's very active now from I-40 south into Fletcher, into Hendersonville. This is just going to lead to more flash flooding potentially for these areas. We already have flash flood warnings out for a lot of areas in the French Broad River Valley. Already had a tornado reported earlier today before 3 o'clock. That was down in the upstate. I'm sure we will have more damage reports coming in. The good news is all of this will continue to slide northeast and improving conditions expected here late tonight into tomorrow. Just a few showers tomorrow. Nothing close to what we're dealing with right now. But if you are anywhere close to a small creek or stream, you should be aware that there's likely flooding and there likely will be worsening flooding this evening. So get to higher ground and away from that water if possible. It's probably going to trap some people at some point if that water rises over those roads and you can't get out. Then you're in a big situation that could be much, much more life-threatening. And of course, you put emergency folks in harm's way too if they have to come and get you. But that's the idea. We'll continue to watch the radar closely and hope for the best, but of course prepare for the worst tonight as things will continue to go downhill. We'll have more information for you coming up in just a bit.
In about 25 minutes, we'll have more live team coverage showing conditions in other parts of the mountains.
All right, we're watching the radar closely. We have a new tornado warning that came out moments ago for Avery, McDowell, Mitchell, Yancey County. That's still out until 6:15 for these areas. So heads up if you're in McDowell County, eastern Yancey, most of Mitchell, western portions of Avery County. And then off to the west of there, or east of there, I should say, we have more of the warnings to go through. And this involves you as you go farther east into more of Avery County. So there's another tornado warning out, and that one goes for Avery, Burke, and Caldwell till 6:15. You go south of there, and more tornado warnings have been issued most recently down here into the upstate. So now we involve western Greenville County, eastern Pickens County, northern Anderson County. Those are out until 6 o'clock. You go a little farther east and south, and you have a warning out, a tornado warning that is, for areas of Anderson, Greenville, and Spartanburg County. That is out until 6:15. Farther south of there, more tornado warnings out for these areas into Lawrence County, into Greenwood County. Those are out until 6:15 respectively. So all of the thunderstorms you see that are on the map now are certainly possibly producing some damaging wind and or isolated tornadoes. So we definitely want to be aware of that and hunker down, just get inside a sturdy building. This is an idea of where the winds are most likely rotating. I'll zoom in on some of these areas for you to give a better idea of where we might be dealing with the potential for damaging wind and or tornadoes. And you see it's cluttered, so there's nothing that's clear cut. When I look at this, I don't see something that just stands out and says that's a tornado, that's a tornado. It's hard to discern right now. So most of these are kind of rain wrapped. The information that the radar seeing is not as definitive as it was earlier in the afternoon. So these are very discreet, as we say, hard to pick out, and it'll come on you very quickly. So you definitely have to be ready to move inside a sturdy structure if you haven't already, into a safe place. Put the radar back on. There it is, Greenville, Pecan Terrace at Moonville. These areas are under the gun for the possibility of damaging wind with this tornado threat looming for you until at least 6:15 in Greenville County. We'll go north, and you get a lot of thunderstorms to deal with here. All of these have the potential of producing some wind damage and or an isolated tornado. So all of the action will continue to shift off to the north. Most of the action for the mountains will continue through the evening. Flash flooding, a big threat for everybody else that's not dealing with the isolated severe thunderstorms. We'll be talking more in just a bit. Let's get back to the news desk.
And Jason, a rescue effort is underway in the Pisgah National Forest. The sheriff's office says crews are evacuating Davidson River Campground.
And News 13's Anjali Patel is live there tonight for us with that developing situation. Anjali, what do you know now?
Well, we've got calls out to Transylvania County Emergency Services and the Sheriff's Office. We're still waiting on details. But one thing we have noticed that is new is that they have put up some caution tape at the entrance to the Pisgah National Forest, as you can see back there. And they've got a high water sign there as well. And it appears they are still not letting any campers back in. Just to recap, for those of you who haven't been, who weren't watching earlier at 5 o'clock, but around 4 o'clock, there was a very large first responder presence heading into the Pisgah National Forest here in Brevard. Shortly before 5 o'clock, we saw a lot of those first responders leaving. And among those first responders, it was Transylvania County Sheriff's Office, it was Brevard Police, and even the Henderson County Rescue Squad, who were suiting up in there for what appeared to be some kind of water rescue. But like I said, a lot of them left before 5 o'clock. But the entrance to this campground is still blocked by law enforcement here, and it appears they're still not letting campers back in. One of the sheriff's deputies that well, it appears that some cars are going in now, so we'll have to see if there's any developments there. Of course, we're still waiting on information from law enforcement in the area. But last we heard from a sheriff's deputy on the scene here, he was saying that he is encouraging any campers in need of shelter to head over to the Transylvania County Parks and Recreation Center at 1078 Augusta Road here in Brevard. We have seen a lot of campers out here wondering what's going on, where can they go, why can they not get back into the campground, and of course details are still limited, but it appears at some point some sort of rescue effort was underway, and we're working to find out what exactly happened here and what the conditions are back in the Pisgah National Forest. Live in Brevard, Anjali Patel, News 13.
All right, Angela, thank you for that report. Obviously, life-threatening situation. Thus, they are moving folks away from the rivers down there. The Davidson River is going to continue to rise and cause more flooding concerns, that part of Transylvania County as well. And we have new tornado warnings issued again not too long ago for Greenwood County. It's Lawrence County. It's Abbeville County until 6 o'clock. Heads up here where you see the flashing red box. If you live anywhere within that box, you need to be in a safe place. Same goes for this tornado warning that's north of you. It includes areas like Princeton, farther north into Lawrence, and then new tornado warnings also stretched out here for Greenville County. These include areas like Highland, Travelers Rest. That's until 6 o'clock. They dropped the warning for Pickens County and most of Anderson County, but there's still a little sliver of Anderson County till 6:15. Tornado warning here. This entire polygon is under a tornado warning. These storms moving off to the north and northeast rather quickly. So let's put a little track on these, and you'll notice a lot of folks are going to be involved here as these continue to move off to the east and northeast. So it involves areas, let me get that out of the way, Taylors, Batesville, Greer, Duncan, Fairmont, and Inman. Those are just some of the locations involved, and thus you want to be inside a sturdy structure away from any windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. That is going to be the name of the game for us here this evening, especially for the folks under the tornado warnings. Let's go to the north. We have a flash flood going on here, flash flooding in many counties over the mountains. There's that last tornado warning for the upstate, and we have new ones too that have come out and in fact involve you, I should say. Avery County, Mcdowell County, Yancey County, the ones in Burke County and Avery County go till 6:15. That's for areas on the eastern side of Avery County. There's another warning out for Mcdowell County, Mitchell, and Yancey Yancey County. These are tornado warnings. You need to be inside a safe place, a sturdy structure, away from windows, lowest level of your home. These storms are also marching on to the north and east very quickly, so you don't have much time to react. A lot of this action is just bearing down on you quickly. It's just an idea of some of the communities involved: Estito, Grassy Creek, Spruce Pine, Ingalls, and Plumtree. Those are just a sample of some of you that are dealing with the rough weather at this time. So much rain coming down. We've seen over a foot of rain, and it's just going to be a matter of time before many of you get closer to that kind of a total, especially if you're along the Eastern Continental Divide. You can see how much rain's still coming down here across Transylvania County, Jackson County, and then back over into areas of also into Swain County and Graham County and Macon County. So all of this will continue to make its way off to the north and northeast. You can see the radar in motion, just tremendous rainfall and so much to go through over the next few hours. Everything falling right now, the heaviest at least, over the French Broad River Valley, the central French Broad River Valley down I-26. This is leading to flooding along the French Broad River. Again, keep in mind the French Broad flows north, south to north. So all of that water has to make its way downstream into Marshall, into Hot Springs, and that will lead to more flooding concerns in Madison County this evening and overnight. As the runoff continues, you have to understand really none of this is soaking into the ground. All of it is runoff, so all of it has to work down into the tributaries and eventually the bigger rivers. The Pigeon River has been flooding today. We have flooding north of Canton. That is a moderate flood stage right now. That's likely going to continue through the evening hours, and more flooding likely into tomorrow. These are all these flash flood or flood reports we've seen today. In fact, the past couple of days, you can see many of them for the upstate too, Transylvania County, and involving some places down into Macon County. So a lot of that has happened. Most recently, it looks like down here in areas of Macon County too. We'll put a little identifier on that one, of course, and more of these have popped up most recently in the upstate, and we'll certainly be watching for more of it throughout the evening hours. The good news is there's light at the end of the tunnel. Overnight tonight into the morning, much improved conditions. We'll see the rain wrap up pretty quickly after, say, 9 or 10 o'clock for most of the area. All right, we'll talk more about your forecast coming up.
Okay, Jason, let's check back in with News 13's Hannah McKenzie, where water is across the roadway on Smoky Park Highway. Hannah, what have you learned in the last 30 minutes?
Ty, I have learned this water is moving atrociously quickly. When we first checked in with you guys and arrived on the scene, we were right where that electricity pole is. Now, obviously, you can see there's like, 15 to 20 feet of water between where we're standing and where that pole was when we initially got here. So this water is rising very, very quickly. Also, take a look behind me. You can still barely see the tail end of a silver vehicle out there. However, that is only one of 5 vehicles that are out there right now. That's what I'm told. So we had fire crews out here doing search rescues, looking for folks out there, because there was a report that one man had gotten out of his vehicle and swam to the shore. While we were out here, you guys, that guy walked up behind us and he was like, "Hey, I'm all right." So it was fantastic news, because obviously that could have ended very, very differently. We also spoke to another man who, he's actually the owner of that silver car. He was trapped in there, and the fire department did have to come and rescue him earlier before the other man swam to safety. So this is a very evolving situation here. And I want to tell you a little bit about just the area in general, because we actually tried to get closer to Haywood County. This is as far as we could get, though. So I want to tell you right now that Haywood County does have a state of emergency in effect. They declared that about, an hour and a half ago, I would say. The Haywood County Commission Chairman Kevin Ensley making that declaration to activate temporary shelters. Those will be opened as needed. Also giving emergency management staff the authority to shut down roads and areas that are deemed dangerous. As you can see, plenty of roads are deemed dangerous in our area. Lots of trees are down, power lines are down, and these are changing rapidly. So you do have to be very aware of these weather conditions. The North Carolina Department of Transportation also warning people, if you do not have to be out right now, do not come outside. Don't be one of those people that just wants to look at things. Sit at home in the dry of your living room and watch us be out here providing you with the latest updates. They're saying stay at home, don't get out of your house. It's a warning that they usually reserve for ice and snowstorms. However, today definitely a different approach, because this is just an emergency situation that happened very, very quickly after the rains of Tropical Storm Fred is coming through. Alrighty, reporting live, Hannah McKenzie, News 13. Back to you guys.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Let's check back in now with News 13's Kimberly King, who's live in Asheville's River Arts District.
And Kim, what are the conditions like right now?
So, Holly and Ty, things have gone downhill, I'd say, in the last 20 minutes. We're getting pelted with sheets of rain. We had it before. Now, I'd say it has doubled. The winds are now up to 30 miles per hour. My photographer, Christy, is behind underneath the hatch of the SUV. We're going to walk out and just show you just how bad the rain is right now. And we'll take a look here at the ground here. Just off Riverside Drive, you can see just how strong the storms are pelting the ground. We are hearing thunder at this point. We're not seeing a lot of traffic. We'll walk out here to Riverside Drive and take a quick look if we can. Not a lot of drivers, but a few of them out here. We don't see the road covered with water at this point, but you can see basically it cascading off the asphalt. And one driver here still heading home for the night. And we do have a brave runner in this area, taking it all in stride. She is looking great, actually, despite the rain. Hey, be safe out there. But obviously, this isn't ending anytime soon. And back behind me, we'll show you a little bit more of this at 6 o'clock. That's a boat dock. We've been showing that this evening, trying to keep an eye on it to see if we're seeing that water rise. We're basically seeing the same amount of dock that we saw at 5 o'clock, but the river is moving fast and we're seeing a lot of debris. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we have new video from Candler and also from Asheville Highway showing just how serious these downpours are and impacting drivers who are getting stranded in the middle of the road because they are going into these waters. Reporting from the River Arts District, Kimberly King, News 13.
Thank you, Kim, for that report. Stay safe out there. We urge everybody, like she said, just stay home. Do not get out in this. This is not the time to go sightseeing and look for damage or look for flooding. Even if you're curious, just stay with us. We'll have the information for you on air and online. Look at the radar now. New tornado warnings. This line just continues to march eastward, and it's just going to continue to produce warning after warning. Now, we will see damaging wind threats go into Lawrence County. This is a new severe tornado warning until 6:45 for Greenville, Lawrence, and Spartanburg County. This includes Spartanburg itself. This includes areas down into Honore and Lawrence and farther to the south of there. So we have the potential for more damaging wind. It looks like there's a new report that came in most recently down here of possibly a tornado that has been confirmed. You can see that icon pop up there. We're going to get to that in just a second. But the information is right now these tornado warnings will continue for the evening hours, and we'll continue to watch this line march off to the east rather quickly, about 25 to 30 miles per hour. There it is. A funnel cloud reported in Lawrence, a 5:45 this evening around the Hickory Tavern area. So heads up there. That is a severe thunderstorm that has now obviously produced a funnel cloud that was observed with no touchdown. That's good news, but that can still produce damage. So we're going to be watching this area of the upstate very closely. Numerous tornado warnings, and stay safe. Get inside a sturdy structure, away from windows, lowest level of your home. These storms are really hauling. They're coming in quickly. We want to keep you safe.